Okay guys, we are going to do the cash budget question for the activity that was given to us that is Fashion Goddess Limited, and there's no solution for this, but we're going to do this activity. Okay, all right. So the first step to do a cash budget would be to draw up your debtors collection. All right. But before we do that, but before you do your debtors collection, you have to find out how much of sales, cash sales and credit sales were done. So firstly, you draw up your table like this. You can see June, July, August, September, October. And if we look at the information above, we can see that the cash balance was favorable. That's great, 78%, at 78,000, sorry. And if we go down, it says we want to prepare the cash budget for August and September. Okay, now if I'm going back up, so the first thing to do is to enter the amounts, to enter the total sales for the months. They are your total sales right here. So let's enter that. Okay, then it tells us in the information right here, it says most of the company's clients purchase their services on credit. All right, the company estimates that 80% of their clients usually buy on credit. So 80% of sales are on credit. All right, so you'll find here there's our 80% credit sales, and 100 minus 80 means you'll have to 20%. So 20% were purchased in cash and 80% was purchased in credit. Our next step is to simply take your total amount and multiply that by the given percentage. So 500,000 times 20% and put your amount in. 500,000 times 80%, put your amount in, and follow the same procedure for the rest of it. So let's do that. Okay. Okay, so that's how we get our total sales, cash sales, and credit sales, which now brings us to the next point to do our debtors collection. So let's do this together, guys. Okay, so now that we have our debtors collection schedule drawn up, let's begin. So when we're doing our debtors collection schedule, we will only use the credit. We're only dealing with our credit sales. Okay, so if you look on the above, there's cash sales for 20%. We will not be using these amounts, but we show our workings, but we don't use those, but we will use these amounts. So as you can see, we got credit sales. You have your months above and months below. So on about that. Right. So yeah. Okay, so as you can tell, we have these amounts. So firstly, we're going to enter the credit sale amounts next to each month. So 400,000 for June, 416,000 for July, 416,000 for August, 440,000 for September, and 464,000 for October. Okay, so then we're going to have a look at what are the policies for us to collect that money. So it says here that the trend is that 60% of the debtors pay their accounts the following month, that is after 30 days, and 35% of debtors will pay their accounts in the second month of the sales, which is 60 days. The remainder is written off. Okay, bad debts. All right, so we know for the first month, so we know for the sales that we made in June, we only collected in July. So the first thing that we're going to do is, we know that 60% of the sale that's made in that's made in the current month will be collected in the following month. So let's put 60% for each of the following months. Okay, so if we made a sale in June, we'll be collecting that 60% in July. If we're in July, we made a sale in July, we'll collect that in August. So let's put it in August. If we made a sale in August, we'll collect it in September. All right. And if we made a sale in September, we'll only collect it in August. All right. And then of course there's October, but we're not doing November, so you can put a dash. All right. Then it tells us that 35% of the remainder is paid in the second month. Okay, so then 35%, 35%, and 35%. So now all we're going to do is, we'll take the amounts of the credit sales, and we're going to multiply that by 60% and by 35% for each of the following months and into the figures. So firstly, we'll take 400,000 times 60%, and it gives you 240%. It's 240,000, sorry. All right, see what I did there? And so we're going to do the same thing for each of the other given months and for each figure. Okay, let's do that. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to simply add all of the values. For June, there isn't no anything to add. For July, it's just 140,000, 240,000. If we add these two figures up, it gives us 389,600. And for September, we have 395,200. And lastly, for October, we have 409,600. Okay, that'll do for our debtors collection. Join me in the next video when we do our